Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to Pep Talks in the Morning. It is Tuesday, the 14th of April, and the last time I came to you, the last time all of us came to you was last week, Thursday, Easter, well, Holy Thursday, as they call it. And we had a nice long break in between to just rest and relax. Not that we are lacking that during these times. But for us here on the show, we took a small break to come back to you fresh and rejuvenated this morning with a host of topics to discuss. And luckily for me this morning, I am joined by the two deputy political leaders of the Progressive Empowerment Party, Anthony Defurne.
Morning, Trinidad, morning, Felicia, morning, Lima.
And next to him, our second deputy political leader, the charming Lima McLeod Wilkinson. Good morning, Lima.
Good morning, everybody. I noticed Antonia and I have the same hairstyle, and glasses. We twinning.
I told you that since last week, and you all didn't believe me. You all rocking the same exact hairstyle and the same glasses, as you just pointed out. I don't know if that is a deputy political leader kind of thing, but I kind of feel a little bit jealous. So tomorrow I might be wearing a mohawk. So look out for that tomorrow, Trinidad and Tobago. Anthony, Lima, we had a nice long weekend. A lot of things took place over this Easter weekend. But before we jump into that, how was your Easter weekend, Anthony and Lima? Anthony, you go first.
Well, weekend. What can I say? The weekend and not much happening. I mean, we're on lockdown. We can't really run around and do all the things that we normally would want to be doing. There was a level of boredom, but at the end of the day, we still survive. We're still here. Just sitting by on the sidelines, looking at the government at hand and how they are handling this whole thing. It's heart wrenching, and let me tell you, I'm on fire this morning, because I spoke to a few people in the area, pertaining towards several things that they are dealing with as families, as individuals trying to take care of their families. But we ain't gonna get into that just yet. Lima.
How was your week?
Well, I don't even know the difference between weekday and weekends anymore. And I'm being slowly tortured because I have children and dogs to sort out, and it's like everything all at once, every minute. There's no break. There's no, okay, well, I have to go to work and then come back. There's nothing. So
I passed by Lima last night to drop a mask, and I was supposed to talk to her about something. I just saw her, and she just took all the words out of my mouth. She was one of those frustrated. All she was missing was that rolling pin in her hand. To look like she's gonna that's all you were missing, that rolling pin. But I could just imagine the frustration. I mean, for me, a trip to the grocery or a trip to the gas station is like a big event. I dress up, and when I say I dress up, I look forward to it like it's Christmas Day, because now it's not like you have much places to go. It's not like you have much things to do. So just doing the ordinary, doing the normal is the new normal now. But apart from being the new normal, it's our new form of entertainment. Going to the grocery and going to the gas station, because as you know, and like you all rightfully said, we are in a period of lockdown. I am losing track of days. Thank God for this show that it can remind me what days we're on. But weekend, weekday, it's all the same. It's become very mundane. But we're here today to hopefully break the monotony for you of these days in COVID. And like I said earlier in the program, we had a lot happening over the weekend. A lot that is going to fuel the talks today on Pep Talks in the morning. Starting off with the program this morning is the topic of price gouging by businesses. And for those who have not yet experienced the price gouging that we have been undergoing as consumers, we actually had two of our members, Michelle Davis, post a picture of her bag of, what was it? It was mincemeat.
Yeah.
I think it was mincemeat.
She posted a bag of mincemeat, And on it, I mean, I swear it is less than it looks like a pound or two, if so much, of mincemeat. And the price on it was $70. Now, I go to Price Mart, and Lima was actually the second person to post a picture of the mincemeat, which looked like about 5 or 6 pounds of mincemeat, and the price was roughly half of what Michelle posted. So Michelle's mincemeat, which was about 2 pounds, was $70, and Lima's mincemeat, which was about 6 pounds, was about $35. And that's a comparison between what Michelle bought this week and what Lima bought in the middle of March. And I don't know how many of you would have experienced it, but price gouging seems to be on the rise, in particular from those establishments that are not as big as the Macy's and the Price Mart and the True Values, but a little mom and pop shop that obviously may be feeling the constraints of COVID-19. However, they're passing that on to the consumers. And my first question is, where is consumer affairs in all of this?
But they have
Very
been
good
missing
question.
for a while though, because you're seeing a lot of things happening, the price and everything going up, and you're not even seeing a response from them stating that they're investigating anything or they're checking into it. There's no regulation. The Minister of Finance not even saying anything concerning that either.
Well, there's nobody doing the job. Nobody is doing the job that is set out for them to do, especially in this time, this very critical time that we are dealing with, that the citizens definitely need to have somebody overseeing them, looking over them, to ensure that they're not taken advantage of. But again, business as usual, Vikey Vike thing, and at the end of the day, people that's still holding the shit. To the grocery there last week, and I got a little piece of cheese, small piece of cheese, which was $41. The same piece of cheese I would have normally paid $10 to $15 for. Price gouging is an understatement taking place now in certain quarters of the country right now, where the citizens are concerned, and it's very, very, very unfair. And forget about the price gouging in itself, because that is raising the price more than what the actual worth of the item is. Who is able to buy it right now? People, the government has said that they were going to give stipends or what the case might be to citizens in order for them to live. Nobody, the country's on a shutdown, nobody is making money. How are you able to still buy the 40 something dollar piece of cheese or the 70 something dollar packet of beef? How? If we don't have money to buy it.
I'm reading an article here because, in preparation for these shows, we always have to do our research, etc. And back in March 14th, our Trade and Industry Minister, Paula Gopee-Schoon, and she assured the people that, well, one, that we still had enough food for at least 6 months, and price gouging is not illegal, but it will not be tolerated. And I went on to read some of the penalties for price gouging. One, there's no way to properly report it, because before COVID-19, there was no proper Consumer Affairs division. I don't know about you all, but we live in a society where if you get bad customer service, if you get a product that is not what it was described, if you pay more for a product that you know you should not be paying so much for, we feel like we have no recourse in this country. We have a jokey thing called Consumer Affairs. Yet how many people have actually used that channel and actually gotten results? And then we have COVID-19, which come into the mix and absolutely make things way worse. And looking at the penalties, one, it's nothing to make anybody really decide I don't want to price gouge. But two, there's no real channels which you can escalate your concerns. At this point in time, you, Anthony, who went to the grocery and just paid $41 for a block of cheese that you should be paying $10 and $12 for, what is your recourse? How do you get that handled as a consumer right now? Besides being angry and pissed that you have to pay $41 for a block of cheese, what do you feel you can do about it?
Not buy it. That's the only choice. Because where I get any money to buy it? Especially if I am a minimum wage earner, if I am dependent on, I mean, basic handouts from the state as a CRP, as a URP or CPEP contract or what the case might be. The point of the matter is that we have a large portion of the population that is living day to day, week to week, month to month. With this shutdown that has taken place right now, you're talking about people are not, or it's already in a deficiency. People don't have money saved because, again, if you're living day to day, week to week, or month to month, that right there says that you do not have any major savings in your bank account or anywhere for that matter, because you are living day to day, week to week. That's the point. That's what that actually means. So again, what has the state done? Yes, you're quick, hot and ready to shut the country down. Nobody say no. We say that is a protocol that needs to take place. But what is being done to pacify and help the country in itself, the citizens that are in this position, which is a large portion of the population? It is a large portion. It's not a handful of people that is dealing this way, having to live day to day or week to week. It is a large portion of the population. What is the state doing proactively to pacify that situation? You have families right now, like I said earlier, families right in the area where I am living right now. Listen, have no food. They have no food in order to feed their children, in order to feed their family, and they have nowhere to turn right now. The state has talked about the given stipend, the giving you a piece of money. You go down to try to get the money, or what the case might be, or to get the grant to pay rent, or what. I mean, really, the place has gone mad because you have landlords still asking for rent at this point in time. And you're talking about this is the country has shut down. What it is, no, people cannot understand about that. There is no circulation of money and funds throughout the system in Trinidad and Tobago. Simple thing. So how it is banks are able to still try to charge you and tax you for your car payment, for your mortgage, for your rent, for whatever the case is. Whatever the case is. All of these things are something that needs to be frozen. The state was supposed to freeze the economy in a way where utilities are still must go on because you're telling the people to stay home, not to go to work. So in a case like that now, you're not going to work, you're not bringing in any income. You as the state having mechanisms such as TSTT, TNTech, WASA, and all these other utilities, you are supposed to put a mandate out there to ensure that these institutions do not charge the citizenry across the board, 1.4 million people, the whole nation, because it's the whole nation that has come to a standstill. So when you look now, you have as a state to go to the banks and put a call out to the landlords where they themselves also put a freeze on whatever payments such as rents and mortgages and so on that is supposed to take place for the population, because this is not even a ripple effect. You're talking about the wheels of the country has come to a stop. You cannot try to instigate payments and carry on like his life as normal. It is not. The blood and movement of the nation is the larger part of the said population that is living day to day, week to week, and month to month. These are the people who are the oil for the nation, because that is the larger part of the population. That is the population that is spending cash money when they make the money from wherever they're making the money. These are people that is not credit card that they're using. They're using cash money and purchases. So when you have a situation like what we are dealing with right now, the point of that is no one is systematically looking at everything across the board. No one is putting proactively the things that are necessary to put in place. You're running, you're jumping in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund to pull out how much? 1 point something billion dollars. To do what? To pay back taxes, something that the state was supposed to be dealing with for the last 4 years gone by, or even, let's just say, even for the last year that gone by, to bring that up to date. But no, we taking money that's supposed to be used in other ways, form, and fashion, and trying to float the economy in a way then, in this time, to pay back taxes, something that was already owed to the people from the state. Really?
And yeah, I
So,
was
but the
reading
thing
an
about it is
article.
though, is like PNM failure system that they would have implemented since independence coming back to haunt us, literally. I don't know if you saw my post like that,
Yep.
but I did that a while ago. And it is true because everything is failing. You don't have proper systems to manage anything. So whereas Canada and these places have their rental association board, so they could dictate and say, well, freeze payments, and then the government would, sort of
Make what
handle the
conditions? Yeah.
everybody. Right, we don't have that. So you have people who bill in fly by night apartment to rent for $2,000 to rip off people. We don't have anybody regulating these things to make sure everything is above board and or of a particular standard. So all of this now coming back to haunt us literally. And
Yeah.
these are the
Exactly.
issues that we need to face head on. The price gouging issue, again, that's another thing where there's no regulation. The Ministry of Finance, if they had done what they were supposed to do in the first place, you saw COVID coming from since last year, December, whatever the case is. They were supposed to put plans in place from January. Plan A, B, C, D, and you go up in intensity according to how severe the virus is, how it becomes, especially to your country. So they were supposed to have constant consultation and discussions with your supermarket association, your farmers, your manufacturers association, and everybody who pertain into your financial sector to see how best you could curb it financially or economically and put things in place. So, right, so if this happens, we could try this or we could do this or that. Don't wait till now it come and then it's like, oh, shucks. Well, what we go do, boy? All right, we still have money in the HSF. Let's take some money from there, and then right, and all right, TTPS needs some help, so we will get private security to help them. Oh gosh, it's like they're doing things bike and all over the place.
Private
Back in
security. You hear what they
February,
say there? Private security. I just want to touch on that there for a hot
on that.
second.
Just now, wait, before you even jump on that topic, Anthony, before you jump on that, because that one was the one that came and it ended before it even started. Even though I heard that three of the four companies, despite what Stuart Young said, three of the four companies were paid for the 2 days that they did patrol. Now, I know that contract didn't even last 48 hours, 24 hours. So I wondering how, unless they started work before he made the announcement, that amounted to 2 days. Anyway, before we even get on that, because we're coming back to that, back in February, when Terrence Dial singing in all his I don't want to,
Not
in all his
his
pride and
non-medical
in
platform.
all his non-medical
And all
expertise,
this
came and
stupidity.
beat his chest in front of the nation. You will say that, and came and beat his chest in front of the nation and said, "We are not canceling Carnival, and you know what? We are ready. We are ready for COVID-19." When he said we were ready, what exactly did he mean? Because Lima just pointed out something there, that the government was supposed to meet with stakeholders like the markets, the insurance companies, because I noticed nobody talking
Mm-hmm.
insurance yet. I am still waiting for my company to send me an email and tell me what's going on in terms of insurance premiums, because we see the situation. He didn't have talk with the public utilities. They didn't have talks with other not consumers, distributors within society, because we're talking price gouging with food. But prior to the price gouging with food, I remember seeing a small bottle of hand sanitizer that would normally retail for $10, selling for $50 and $60 in some of these pharmacies, meaning that from way back when the price gouging started. So when the Minister of Health and when the Minister of National Security and when our Prime Minister and our Minister of Finance and our Missing in Action Attorney General announced and beat their chest and said, we are ready for COVID-19. What exactly did they mean? We are now looking to build quarantine facilities for people. We're now looking to order test kits. We're now looking to ramp up on ventilators. So when we said we were prepared, what exactly did we mean? What exactly did they mean? I'm not putting myself in that back now, because I distanced myself real far from that. This one time, I am not a Trini. When they said we were ready, what exactly did they mean?
They're ready to thief the damn treasury, what money left in it. That's what I mean. Because they obviously was not ready for the damn for the virus. They weren't ready for the outbreak. They weren't ready for the ramifications of certain decisions that needed to be taken, such as quarantining the entire nation, Trinidad and Tobago, 1.4 million people, no movement in the country, no circulation of cash. Listen, the point of the matter is that the government of the day simply have not a clue as to exactly what it is they are doing and the steps that is needed in order for them to move the country forward in this time. They are not being proactive enough, and we have a large portion of the population that is suffering presently as we
Yeah,
speak, right now
they
as we
react
speak. Because
well.
when you're talking about people living week to week, day to day, we are already in quarantine for over 3 weeks, going over 3 weeks now. And the point is, if you are living week to week or day to day, that period of your stress has already come. You are dealing with it right away, straight off the bat. You don't have a bank account, no money out. You don't have no work to go and make any money. What is the position right now for our citizens? Who is addressing this? Where is the social arm of the government that is looking into this? You have a local level government. We just had elections a few months ago pertaining towards that. All you get all the people on the ground, go into your constituencies and find out where and who and which families that are in need. Make that list, bring the help directly to them, not to have people go and pull out a form, and on that form you had to get copies and photocopies at this and photocopies at that. The damn place is quarantine. Show me where you getting a blasted a copy center to copy any damn thing. Tell me, how are we supposed to operate as a citizenry in a position you're talking about? We need to treat this as war. If bomb dropping all over the country, you're getting any damn thing open, you're getting to do anything in itself, don't you still have to get the people who are in the system, such as local level government? What is the purpose of local level government? Why are they there?
I
Our
think the
councillors, 100 and
war,
something people, what it is they're doing? Tell me.
I think the war the prime minister meant was the government versus the people, because you're seeing the
Good point.
MPs each getting 50 food cards each. In our constituency, like Port of Spain, North St. Anne's West, which is a densely populated constituency, 50 wouldn't even be
30,000
enough for
people,
sometimes
Emma.
one street. So how you're
30,000.
going to
That's the approximate
how you're
number.
going to how you're going to decide, okay, who I distribute the 50 to? Is it because, okay, you have a PNM card, or is it she looked like she's suffering, but he looked like he? So how you gonna judge and say, well, who worse off? Is it the family, the single parent, or the granny? Who? That's what I told you. From January, they had a right to put things in place and start slowly watching how it goes. So you know your
Correct.
pensioners are most vulnerable. So you start paying your pension earlier in the month and start letting people know, stock up your groceries or whatever. You start slowing down your utilities and letting them know this thing is going to be serious. We might have to eventually halt payments to this. So start slowing down on how you would proceed to charge people, or sometimes come up with innovative ways,
But
because at the end of
Lema,
the day, if people don't have money to pay, what you're going to do, you can't cut them. Otherwise, that will result in more debts. People will get desperate. So
TSTT right
TSS is
now,
closed
Mobile
now.
TSTT, B Mobile right now is talking about they don't know that they can continue deferring payments for customers. And this is just after a month of us being in COVID-19. And I remember reading that because I am a B Mobile customer and I have unapologetically not paid my bill since last month because we are in a crisis. And I think it is only fair that they understand that right now, one, money is going to be difficult to come by for people. The first thing when you get money in your hand is not to go and pay a phone bill, it's actually to eat. To eat.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing as our prime minister closed down all restaurants. And two, accessing payment centers right now. They already closed down the majority of payment centers 2 years ago. Now I have to go and do line up one open place between certain hours competing. Everybody I just spend 2 hours lining up outside of True Value and Massy stores to go and do what? Pay a phone bill. So no, I have not paid my bill, and I'm assuming that at this point in time, seeing as TSCT is almost half government owned, that the government will have a hand in it. But seeing them say that they will no longer to defer or put off payments for citizens, it got me angry because I'm studying. Hold on. Is it that while we are going through this pandemic, they are expecting exactly what you said, Lima, that things are going to continue as normal? Everything has changed. Every single thing has changed. Yesterday, I went out of my house and I was very much aware that I need to be back inside before 8 o'clock, before I get rules. If you get caught in a roadblock past 8 o'clock now, you have to have validation as to why you're outside after 8, seeing as supermarkets closed since 6 o'clock. That is the kind of life right now. These other agencies and establishments are acting like they're unaware. I'm reading from Canada. They have deferred or actually frozen insurance and premium payments until the COVID-19 pandemic passes. They actually telling people that if you are in the COVID-19 pandemic, these are the grants that you are eligible for. 2 minutes. It takes 2 minutes to apply online for a grant in Canada. And I'm comparing us to Canada, yes, because people need to understand how a country should actually be operated. We were talking earlier about consumer affairs. There's actually a division online now called the Ministry of Government and Consumer Services, where you can actually log in online and report cases of price gouging happening within, if you have experienced it. And I'm asking, when are we as citizens going to ever experience a taste of what a country that works feels? When are we going to experience that? Because if anything, like Lima said, this has exposed how badly broken our systems are. When there was that whole argument about doubles, people don't pay taxes, I said, whose fault is that? Whose fault it is for not
Mm-hmm.
regulating that companies that are owned by businesses making over a certain percentage per year are tracked on a system once you register a business, or it's mandatory that you register your business so that you have a license, so that we can track your income, and that you do pay taxes. Whose responsibility is that? It's not the doubles vendor, it's the ministry that is responsible for that. So when we now, the same people who used to line up for 5 with Slide, when we only now realize that doubles people don't pay taxes, we are being hypocrites, because all of the time we were patronizing these businesses and we were fine knowing that they didn't pay taxes. And it is no fault of these doubles vendors and any other vendors who are not paying taxes. Yes, it would be a responsible thing as a citizen, as a business owner, to ensure that you do. But it is the government's responsibility to ensure that they are collecting the taxes as they should. And like Lima said, this entire situation has just exposed how internally and fundamentally failed most, if not all, of our systems are. When we used to say what works, and people used to say, why are you saying that? I hope you all understand now why we were saying that, because now that we have been exposed for who we really are, people are actually understanding that really and truly nothing works. Nothing works.
And it's not only that, you see the bureaucracy in every single thing. That is the downfall. Because to want to open a business, you had to go in legal affairs. You had to stand up for almost an hour just to get some form fill out to submit it. Then you had to come back in how much weeks to find out if the name available, and if you're taking it, and then you pay. Oh, it's like confusion. And why is it so difficult? Why?
Yeah, it's rocket
Just to
Basically.
get
science.
a birth
It's just
certificate,
being
it is
difficult.
be hard. So to register a business, obviously going to be a little harder. And if people are not
Well, I
as
mean,
literate and tech savvy, it's going to just be even worse for them. They're going to have to depend on somebody now to explain the whole system for them. This is what you have to do. This is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. You have to come back, you have to pay here, you have to go there, you have to do this, that, the other. And that itself is a frustration. So obviously, if I know I don't have to go through this, I wouldn't.
Exactly. I don't get these businesses wrong. I don't.
Absolutely correct. But again, I think the major issue right now that we're dealing with on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago is our citizens not being able to have the assistance and help that they truly need. Whether you have money, whether you're middle class, whether you're down on the ground in the gutters. The point is, as you being a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, the government is supposed to have proper protocols and procedures in which to operate under in such an environment. The monies that we're talking about spending for back taxes and all of this garbage that they're talking about, that monies is monies that's supposed to be directly inserted into areas. For example, bringing our country to food efficiency, food independence, being able to feed the population on a whole. Also trying to pacify the system in itself, where again, if you have no money running through the system and everything shut down, everything is quarantined, every nation hold a station home in the house, you have no money coming in. The point is there must be some level of a stipend if you are spending or having to spend at any grocery or what the case might be. But as the state, we have the flour mill. Again, if we were proactive enough developing our agriculture and our farming sector, we were supposed to have things in place where we were able to have a food drive of sorts, where again, utilizing local level government and its councillors, the manpower we have in these areas, because it's 41 local divisions that we have, which represent the 41 constituencies. So now we are paying salaries for people within the local level government. Central government to dispense what is needed for the local level government to help pacify and help the citizens within each constituency in itself, being able to identify the people who do not have money, the people who are maybe middle class, the people who are maybe upper class. Nobody says that the middle and the upper class ain't going to get their fair share. Yes, as a citizen, they are supposed to. But the emphasis must be us being able to identify the citizens on the ground, which is the larger part of the population that needs the financial assistance, that need food, that need some level of stability in the environment that they're in right now. They did not ask for this. They did not ask to stay home and not be paid, not be able to go to work, not be able to make the hustle. This is something that has been placed upon them by the state because of the global environment that we are dealing with, because of this virus that is possibly detrimental to our citizens. The point is, again, being proactive. You must have certain things in place with that proactivity, because you can't simply say everybody stay home and then we're not talking about how our bills are going to be paid, how are people going to survive and feed their families, how are people going to get the medical attention or health care that they are supposed to get in the event that they do get exposed to this bloody virus. I mean, at the end of the day, it is a helter-skelter situation, and the state is showing time and time again the level of incompetence that they are presenting to the population, and the people is the one constantly holding the shitty end of the stick. And I just, it pisses me off to see this is the environment that we're in, because these are people talking about masters, bachelors, doctorate, and all kind of ashishness in the blasted place. But at the end of the day, still is the people that is the ones suffering. I have a family right now. If there's anybody that is able to present or provide some level of food, I have several families right now in the Santa Cruz area that is in need of food, that do not have no food card and for the payment for the landlord and all these different things. Listen, the place is going mad, and we are walking down a road that we are going to have major chaos take place, because when families, mothers and fathers have to sit down and watch their children cry, hole in the belly, talking about mommy, daddy are hungry, and nobody could address the fact of who or where these people are going to get food, get monies to buy food, or just simply to be pacified in their position and situation. I'm telling you, all you wait for it, wait for it. And if we are not planning to do anything proactive, we are going to have a major level of chaos. Don't think we're going to come out of this all hunky-dory and back to business, It ain't going to work, so take my word on that.
It's
But it also
definitely
goes to show that
be like that.
our social development minister, time and time again, not doing her part. And it also shows to the fact that our ministers or MPs and by extension council not doing their job and out of touch with the reality of the people that they represent. The last local government election, I still don't know who my councillor is for this area. I have not seen them walk about. I have not heard a car pass with the bullhorn saying any families that are in, that are in need of some sort of assistance, come to the office on this day, blah, 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 or call this number, blah. You're not seeing anything like that. And I don't understand how it is they're so out in their own world or their own bubble that you don't know it have people out here that in need when you're walking around for election time. And I hope people paying attention to this. All the time you didn't see them. Now, when you're supposed to see them. For election time, when you see them, the boss, I need a job, blah, 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 and they offer you some corporation job or some CPEP job. But where were they when you needed the help the most, which is now?
Correct.
And
Very
instead of
well
they
said.
bite the bullet and deal with it proactively now, which in this instance is basically going door to door now in each of your constituencies. You pick the most deprived within your constituency and you start from there and you go district to district and you get names, families, or proper addresses. And that is essentially what they're going to have to do now. This food
But
card
that
not
is
going to
something
work.
they should have done from the start, Lima, from since
Yeah,
January, having to anticipate
yeah.
the environment that we possibly would be operating in. Local level government was supposed to be on the ground already, knowing
But
exactly what is
then
going
they're
on in
not
each
proactive.
constituency.
They're not proactive. And
They're not
clearly they need people
proactive,
to think
and
for them.
on top of that, they should have been embarrassed to have those pictures that they had floating around on social media last week with those hampers with their names, with their party logo on it. PNM should have been embarrassed to say that they were actually giving out hampers with that PNM emblem on it, because not only did you react to the situation, you weren't proactive, but there's so many other people right now who are crying out for help. And later on in the program, we're going to talk about the Venezuelan immigrants who we seem to have forgotten and swept under the carpet. We're going to talk about them in great detail, but we have left a lot of people behind, and the stunts and the hampers with the PNM logo and the smiles from the councillors is all, like I say, stunts, because when you check the reality, there are many, like Anthony said, in his constituency, there are many people right now who are offering us here in the Progressive Empowerment Party. I want to say there's little that we can do, but we don't have the access to the treasury and stolen money and all of this to go and help people. So we can only help on a case by case basis. And it hurts me to know that that is the reality, because we have right now a fully formed government, a fully formed Ministry of Social Development and Family Services that is supposed to be responsible for the needs of the people. We have that institution, yet we have private people right now scrambling, and NGOs and people with good hearts scrambling to see who they can help. And I applaud every single person that we as a Progressive Empowerment Party can help, and you as private citizens can help, and all of our private companies and NGO entities and non-profit entities that are trying to help. But I am also very much aware that there are lots of people who are not getting help, people who before COVID-19, were in a situation where they did not have much, and this has now put their lives in a complete tailspin. Like Anthony said, we have literally cut off people's sources of income, and we are living right now and pretending as if this is not happening. That is what we're doing. We are pretending that people are not going to be impacted. That situation with the Venezuelans that I'm going to talk about after the break, we knew what was coming. We knew that we had people in our country. We registered how many? 16,000 Venezuelans last year. We knew that they are nowhere in the
Supposedly.
system. Supposedly, we knew that they don't have the same rights as citizens. We knew that in COVID-19, especially with our Prime Minister bad mind decision to shut down all restaurants, which is the main source of income for a lot of these immigrant people. We knew that this would mean that they would be left in a situation where they can't survive. We knew this. We knew all of this. Yet when it came, we're acting like we're so surprised that it actually happened. And this is people's lives that we are literally playing with. And I say playing with because it seems to be that. It seems to be that way. Because if we knew all of these things, then where were the preventative measures to assist? Where were the
Because there was
measures?
none. Do you think they just think that far? Please, look at Stuart Young. Come on, he just think far.
Exactly.
Didn't we have the vice
would have
president of
seen-
Venezuela here the other day?
Yeah. If Stuart Young
Why
could
didn't
think
we have
far,
any
he would have dealt with
discussions?
his stepdaughter already. Long time.
How is
before she
it-
even gets to the point where she is. And what they're
How is
forgetting
it-
is Venezuelans react to things differently to Trinidadians. Just look how they just protest and riot and react in Venezuela. You don't think they will do that same crap here?
No,
They
but
They will
aside
teach
from
us
that,
a
Lima,
lesson.
well, let me just say this. Our Prime Minister had the Vice President of Venezuela here just a few days ago. Yes?
Yeah.
The
yeah.
point
Yes.
of that is, was there discussion pertaining towards their citizens that's on the ground here in Trinidad and Tobago due to the
We don't even
situation
know
happening?
what they came here to talk about.
Because there was obviously no discussion about our citizens trapped in Margarita either. That whole
Margarita.
discussion that happened clearly had nothing to do with COVID, even though that was supposedly what the discussion was
Yeah.
about. Because a week later, the Venezuelan Prime Minister is on video begging and pleading with Trinidad to deal with our nationals over there who eating plantain in the airport, and we have Venezuelans here who begging for help from our government. I don't know what that discussion was about, but clearly the things that needed to be discussed were not discussed. And again, this is what we
was
have
not
to
a
look
discussion.
forward to. This is what we have to
Something
look forward
physical had to take place because you could have had your discussion over teleconference, phone call, WhatsApp, messenger, email, fax, whatever. You came here for something and you left with something. Because you would not come with two planes too. What the hell? Trinidadians not that stupid. It have some, yes, but we all not that stupid. This is damn shit now. What the hell? Wham! You're opening the borders for some people, but you ain't opening it for our citizens.
Madness.
It's time we buy the bullet. What kind of shit is that? Stuart Young is a failure. Failure of an MP, National Security Minister, failure in jack of all trades.
Yeah, the whole cast of them in that parliament is failure. All on both sides of the fence. I ain't
You
gonna
have a-
to UNC walk
You
away
have a
from
foreign
this.
affairs minister. He has not said a word yet.
I'm seeing some questions on the live, and I just want to let people know that we open the phone lines at around 9:30 to take your questions. So, Colin Waters, your question on what would the PEP have done? I guess you're probably late to the conversation as well as late to the Progressive Empowerment Party, because we have been talking our solutions for the past 2.5 months. One which would have started with shutting down or postponing Carnival. I think that was probably one of the most irresponsible decisions that we could have made as that the Prime Minister. I need to stop with this we thing. I need to distance myself from the outlandish and crazy decisions that joke of government we have is making. So what they should have
They
done
didn't
was
want to
bite
cancel Carnival because he wanted to wine and jam. Because you saw all the pictures.
Terence Yalsing wanted to wine and jam too. And we say a lot here in the Progressive Empowerment Party that leadership is about making the tough decisions, the decisions that are popular. And I will never forget when we had the discussion here in the Progressive Empowerment Party whether we should have postponed the launch of our candidates, which was supposed to be the week after this entire shutdown started. And before we even had a case of coronavirus, we took it to the leadership and we had a vote, and we said we would not. We said we would not because of the safety of the citizens, of people who would be coming to the launch. And I mean, our launch, which was supposed to be about 1,000 people, nothing in comparison to the magnitude of 50,000 people whining and jamming, sweaty, half in the streets, which is what we did for Carnival. And for all you hypocrites who were judging the people who went on that PNM sanction cruise and had no problem with the wine and jam session that took place on Monday and Tuesday and 2 weeks leading up before, you all need to check yourselves, because if any of you are really buying into the propaganda and the nonsense being spewed that none of these cases were as a result of Carnival, you're being extremely stupid. And on top of that, you can't judge the same people you can't judge how many people went on that cruise, 62, 65? You can't judge 65 people for doing the exact same thing that 50,000 people did. So spare me the hypocrisy and spare me all that not you spewing. But before we go into the break, I did want to touch on this other topic that kind of segues from the price gouge topic that we started with, because on one hand we have consumers having to pay exorbitant prices for food, and on the other hand we have farmers who are having to throw away food. And this is an article that Lima actually pointed me to on Sunday, where a lot of farmers, particularly our watermelon farming now, are complaining that because of the COVID-19 pandemic, because everything is on a shutdown, because they are unable to sell and ply their trade as they would have usually done, they are experiencing massive losses in terms of crops rotting, crops waste, to, well, having to throw. And Anthony, what do you think about this? As a man who is very much into agriculture and in feeding ourselves and feeding the nation, what do you think about this issue of our farmers and the support that they are receiving in terms of getting their produce out and sold, and because they're not getting it sold, having to actually throw them away?
Well, it is a level of insanity again, because one of the things that we need to ensure that we have a level of security over is our food supply. That is what is feeding the nation in itself. Whether you look at it as watermelons or cantaloupes or what the case might be, once it's something that is edible, it's something that should be treated very, very highly as a main resource. That's what's going to carry our country forward. Again, the government not knowing exactly what they are doing, because in the same instance where the entire country is shut down, you have these farmers getting this stock. You need to have people from the Ministry of Agriculture that is touching base, having interaction with all farmers across the board, throughout the entire nation, trying to set a proper food schedule. I mean, we must know exactly what it is exactly that the population consumes. And from that, we as a nation need to be able, for example, again, where the government needs to take the hit, purchase the food from the farmers, don't let it go to waste, or work something in a way where at least cover the cost price of what the farmers had to spend in order to get this food to the table or to the market, or available. So it's not a complete loss for them, because at the end of the day, farming, food, agriculture, this is the new oil. This is the new goal that we have, because without it, the nation dead, the country dead, people die. This is what we need to sustain ourselves. And the government was supposed to come the farmers across the board, whether it be livestock, whether it be agriculture, whether it be whatever, once it's falling within the bracket of farming, and create a proper agenda in the environment that we are presently in. Being able to pacify the nation as a whole is not about profit right now. It's about being able to manage the resources that we do have and dispensing that to the population. So this way there is minimal disturbance or minimal friction or yeah, if you understand where I'm coming from with this. The point is that there's no proactive measures being taken place where the government of the day is concerned, and they are constantly proving this time and time and time again. Now again, farming is a thing. We are supposed to have a level of security where this is concerned. Forget money, forget this, forget that, forget the other. Food is what we need, food and water. That is the two key elements that we have to put in place. And that was the first thing that we should have secured since November 2019, was to ensure we had discussion and dialogue with our farmers, as well as show up the resources that we have where WASA is concerned, ensuring that we are able to provide 24-hour, 7-day a week, 365-day a year water supply, especially in this period that we are in right now with this virus available, because we've seen certain videos and stuff on social media showing that you have certain areas with elderly and stuff, 20-something different apartments not even having access to clean pipe-borne water in a time like this, when we are supposed to ensure we are able to provide 24-hour water to the citizens. Length and breadth, 1.4 million of our citizens are supposed to have that, especially in this time right now. And aside of water, again, agriculture is second in line, or should I say it stands toe-to-toe where water is concerned. We are supposed to secure these things and create a model that we are able to now feed our population, if it's through a ration project or model of sorts, because again, it is not business as usual. Who are the players involved? Why have they not come together on a round table with the state, with government, with all invested interest seekers, and coming up with a proper game plan, moving the country forward? In this time right now, we are talking about this is as if we are in war. If we are in war, we need to do certain things that we are presently not doing right now.
Well, it goes
Where
to
does
show
that
we've
leave the
never been in an
citizens?
actual war, so our prime minister wouldn't know. But I did a post a while ago, probably last month or so, where I asked, has the food production minister, which is Clarence Rambarat, has he put some urgency into having meetings with our farmers? And then about a couple of days after, there was an article in paper said he's not meeting with farmers at this point in time. And it's like, this man is a jackass.
Why?
And that is
What was the
why
reason
I
why?
said, when the food runs out, are we going to start eating people?
That's what I want. That right there
Well,
is what
take
I
your
want.
minister, you know.
And Anthony, you spoke earlier about how many people in your constituency that you know right in your own neighborhood who are suffering right now. And I'm thinking,
Yes,
on one hand, we have people suffering. On the other hand, we have farmers throwing away food. You're
Yeah.
trying to tell me there's no way that we can get the food that is wasting right now to the people who are suffering?
exactly.
Seriously?
But that is where Clarence would come in. But Clarence doesn't have
Exactly.
a brain of his own. Again, they're studying 1%. Let's import every damn thing. I shared an article yesterday with the El Socorro Wildlife Organization saying anybody could donate, fresh fruits or whatever fruits for them, because some of those wildlife animals require fruits. So those same watermelons would have gone well for institutions like that, the zoo for their birds and their monkeys and all these different things. So they're not even studying the animals too.
You
This
see,
is bullshit.
in all of this, I understand where the farmers and the producers are coming from. They are obviously thinking, I invest $40,000 into planting 50 acres of watermelon. Just giving away my produce is obviously at a loss to me. But this is where we're supposed to have, like you said, government intervention. This is where we're supposed to have Clarence Ramarat saying, okay, we have about 100,000 people right now who need food. We as the government, y'all can go and sell in Namdevco. Y'all can go
Namdevco.
and sell, y'all can go and sell in the markets. Y'all can go and pitch your tarpaulin on the highway side and sell. We are going to purchase your produce, and we as the government, we as the Ministry of Social Development, we as the Ministry of Agriculture, we are going to purchase your produce and actually redistribute it to the families in need. Because a lot of people are asking, what are in those hampers that we given to people? I don't know what are in those hampers, but I know specifically with what we're trying to fight right now, fruits and vegetables should definitely be some of the things that we given to people. So when we're thinking about food
Especially
hampers,
local food.
Exactly. When we think in hampers, I would like to think that fruits is something that we would immediately want to think about. And there was also a suggestion that I had because I went into Massey stores and I wanted to purchase some watermelon and I saw these very sad looking,
Yeah, they
pathetic.
don't have nice watermelon.
I
Mm-mm. I would
don't know
never
where that
recommend anybody to buy watermelons
exactly
from
where they
Massey,
get it from.
Zabaca,
None of those things I don't
strawberries.
buy
You see the price of the
fruit from.
strawberries? Almost $70 for strawberries, and Price Matter sell it for $50. I see
Like I
wicked.
say, fruits, I stay away from buying that in any supermarket, and particularly mass stores, because it's for me, one, the price is just it is unbelievably expensive. I saw Philip post a piece of cabbage, about a quarter piece of cabbage for $21, and I understand this what I pay for this market.
Yeah, and
A lot of
the
people are
foreign
being
cabbage would be cheaper than the local cabbage, but I would still prefer to buy local cabbage than foreign. I don't know what the hell they're doing in foreign with the cabbage. It's so big.
exact. But as a thing, a lot of people right now, we can't go to the side of the road like we would normally do. We can't go to Namdevco. We can't go to the market. We can't go on Charlotte Street and purchase our vegetables.
I
So my
know
other
my favorite
solution,
place.
why not? Yes, I know. That's why I get a lot of my grocery, my vegetables and stuff too. If we can't get as consumers, we can't make our way to these farmers' produce. Why hasn't the Ministry of Agriculture, why hasn't Clarence Rambarad brokered a deal between these farmers and these supermarkets? Because I know there's a whole long process to jump through to be able to get your produce on in the supermarkets, etc. But given what we are going through right now with COVID-19, can there be some temporary arrangement where these supermarkets, seeing as they are the only businesses that are allowed to be open right now, can't there be a temporary arrangement where they carry these products at market value so that the consumers can still access them? I mean, right now, the supermarkets have to be making billions in profit. They are the only places that are open. They're still
They
functioning,
and
and some of
pharmacies.
them are gouging our eyes. Exactly, they're gouging our eyes with prices. So we know you're making money as a service to the country, as a service to the people who cannot afford or who can't access our local made products, our locally grown food. Can't they carry some of these products at market prices for the people who need to access them? Again, simple
Not only
solutions.
that,
Somebody asked,
but simple things like, okay, this period you want to ramp up your food agriculture, food production. Why don't you discuss some sort of thing with the comptroller of finance to reduce the duty or VAT or whatever it is these farmers will be paying on pesticides and seeds and all the stuff that they need to grow food, because this is the time now you need to push heavy on growing food. Now is the time to do your census program to figure out, okay, what we need. We don't need a million set of tomatoes, but we need potatoes, we need this, that, the other. Look, Netherlands had to throw away a whole set of potatoes because they have nowhere to export it to. And we locally don't really grow potatoes, apparently. We import potatoes. So why not do all these things now? What is Clarence Rambarat really waiting on? First of all,
he's waiting
does
for
he even
6 months
know one
and
ass
that we owe
about
food.
farming or agriculture? Mr. who living somewhere
Actually,
in Port of Spain here, does he know anything about dirt, soil, getting his hands dirty? What?
actually, from what I've
To know
heard,
what these
Clarence
farmers is going
Ramprakash
through?
is supposed to be one of the smartest people in government. Unfortunately for him, he is in government with a bunch of people who obviously don't know what they are about. And for him, I
They are
mean, I have to
pussies.
feel sorry for him if he is as good as his job as people say he is, because unfortunately we have yet to see that happen in the 4.5 years that he has been in office. So you might be smart partner, but you're operating and working for the wrong group.
He might be book
Ah,
smart, but
I
he
like
doesn't
that.
have the common sense or the testicular fortitude to stand up and say, well, no, we need to push for food, because when it run out, what are we going to do? What are we going to
Well, I
do?
like what you just said there, Felicia, and the point of that is too, is that, not to say that we don't have good ministers or people within government on both sides of the fence. The problem is that they are supporting a party or supporting a group that does not directly support them. And that's where the problem lies. And that's why they all would seem birds of a feather flock together, and they simply don't have the level of power, wielding power that they would like to have. Yes, there are good people in politics, but again, they do not get the level they are supporting something that is not giving the support back to them. And it shows now where we as a nation is in this position where, again, you have localized government, you have central government. Everybody is supposed to be working in harmony at this point in time with great level of efficiency, because one, we do not have the monies running through the system. We are at a deficiency. We are dealing with a virus situation that can be very crippling and critical to the nation on a whole, as far as the citizens and its infrastructure, just the way of life as we know it, really and truly. We have a perfect time now to redevelop Trinidad and Tobago across the board, whether it be within how we conduct business, within agriculture, within education, within everything, every single thing across the board. We have an opportunity of a lifetime, and I keep saying, is the silver lining that is faced to us, poised to us as a citizenry, as a country in this time that is a crisis. I mean, that is one of the positive things that we can actually look towards in redeveloping Trinidad and Tobago, and having that opportunity to do that right now. And again, first step, feeding the nation, having a level of food security. Also, regular security as far as protecting our borders, not allowing things in and out within the black market, or in that sense in itself. Our education, how we are dispensing education, how we teach our young people, our adults for that matter, in any field. This is a time that is golden for us, where we are able to really fabricate the nation that we have been yearning and searching for the last 57 years. And we still have the chance and opportunity to create that nation. We still have the resources on the ground here in Trinidad, what other countries are not able to boast of, or not able to say that they have. We have it coming out the ground free. We have natural gas, we
Yeah,
have
but we
oil,
have the
we have
wrong
fish.
government.
We have the
We have the wrong management.
beautifully said. Perfectly said there, Lima. We do have the wrong government. We don't have leadership in the country that thinks forward, that looks towards an
Yeah.
agenda for our nation for the next 50 years, for the next 100 years, with goals, markers, walking ourselves through that. If it's every 5, every 10 years, what are the goals that we set for ourselves as a nation, for us, for development, for betterment to the people?
We have
Where is
selfish
that discussion?
politicians
Exactly. It's all about
who
politicking. It's
study
all about how we can get in
themselves
the treasury
and
and
their
thief
1%
all the money
agenda.
as we can possibly thief.
Yeah.
That's the whole name of the game. And to hell with the people. The people, really and truly, what do we have to gain from this? Again, the people have to wake up at this point in time in our history and realize the individuals out there that's brokering for betterment, show where the proposals, where the policies, and how it can actually benefit you as a citizen, and make your mark there. As it is presently, to date, right now, it's only the Progressive Empowerment Party that is presenting this into the public space. Now, again, I'm not saying that PEP is make all, give all to the life of the world. No. All I am saying is that we have enough critical minds within this institution of the Progressive Empowerment Party, enough forward minds, enough policies, enough protocols to carry the country forward and bring in a level of sanity and betterment to the population as a whole, in developing the nation in itself, where its economics is concerned, where its agriculture is concerned, where its education is concerned, where the infrastructure of the country is concerned, across the board. And we keep saying 21 policies, and these 21 policies still could come into effect in the present time that we're in right now. In this crisis is where this is gold to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, Trinidad and Tobago, go to the PEP site, check out the policies in itself, understand what the policies is trying to do for you as a citizen, because the key for us as a nation at this point
is a level of accountability, a level of transparency, and a level of responsibility for one's portfolio. If you put a man in a position, he needs to answer to you as the people and show you where you are getting the betterment, how we are supposed to move forward. And I mean, really and truly, it is no-brainer business, you know. It is no-brainer business. Normally, when people on the road looking to run down man and woman, and you want to date this and date that, and check out this one, you want to do all the research that is necessary in order for you to find out all the information you need to find out to go and sway and woo, make
Some
them feel
people do
good,
that,
boy.
Tony. Some people do that. You see the Ryan and the Kyle stuff, they didn't do their research.
Oh
But
Lord,
Exactly.
another point that you
But
forgot
on
to
a national
mention though
level,
is that, you know, the people in PEP are people who actually on the ground and actually going through the problems. It's not like we in a different league and out of touch with the reality of all the citizens. We all go Portsmouth
correct.
General, we go Mount Hope, we go Sando Hospital, we know about health centers. We have children going in the systems now. We have children doing SCA, we have children doing CXC. All of our ministers are either out of that zone already and way past that. So they don't care, they don't understand or know what it is people going through from preschool to primary and all these different stages in life that we all going through now. So that is the huge
they're
difference between them and us.
yeah, they're insulated.
Sorry?
Many of them.
Yeah.
I was saying that they are insulated from that. Many of them educate their children outside and abroad. Many of them don't even have lives here in Trinidad and Tobago. They just work here. If you really check where their money is going, is in accounts outside of this country. They have homes on the outside. If Trinidad and Tobago was supposed to crumble and implode tomorrow, they just simply hop on a plane and relocate their lives that they have built elsewhere. And you see, that is for the most times the problem with what we experience right now in terms of our leadership. We have a leadership that is disconnected from the needs, the wants, and the struggles of their people. And exactly what Lima said, we, the members of the Progressive Empowerment Party, the leadership of the Progressive Empowerment Party, we are on the ground and we have experienced firsthand feels and live in a shithole country, and that's why we are so committed to saving it. Because unlike those who have money and status and connections and power, if Trinidad and Tobago was supposed to fall down tomorrow, many of us don't have a plan B. That's why we are so committed to fixing this. That's why we're so committed to making this work. Not just for us, because we want a life that's comfortable for us too. But we understand that if everybody benefits, the entire country would benefit. A rising tide lifts all boats, and our work, our responsibility, our whole goal in all of this is to make sure that everybody has equal access to the same hope and the same opportunity, not just some hope for some and some opportunity for others. We need to make sure that everybody has a level playing field. And of course, some will succeed and with their own drive and their own commitment will do better than others. But in essence, we're still making sure that those who want to succeed have the same opportunities as those who maybe just want to live and like themselves. But at the end of the day, everybody has a comfortable life. And that's where we should want to be, where everybody could at least live comfortably, where you don't have to have wrought iron and burglar proofing and gas and cameras outside of your house, just to ensure that you live a life that you're not even guaranteed to wake up to see tomorrow, because you have no idea who might come and rob you. They're catching people on camera these days and nothing coming out of it. And that's the life that we live right now in Trinidad and Tobago, and that's the life that we want to move past. We want to take our country forward. We want to take our country to the sweet, beautiful island that we know we could be. I saw a video, one of our members, Christian De Leon, he posted a video of the Tobago and Island pool, and I swear my whole heart sung, because it just took me back to just how absolutely beautiful Trinidad and Tobago is, and how much I don't want to say we take it for granted, but we're so focused and we're so overwhelmed by a lot of the bad things that go on that we don't get the time to appreciate all of the beauty that is
we
this
take it
country.
for granted.
And we do,
That
we
is
do take it
exactly
for
what
granted.
it is. But what people
I
need to
do want
understand is that a government not supposed to rest until you give until they have done everything possible for all your citizens to have opportunities. It doesn't matter what, but they must have every right, every opportunity to try anything. Open a business, it fail, you try something else. And it shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be difficult. That is
exactly.
their role and responsibility.
Role
I
and
want to take a
responsibility.
quick I want to take a quick
Key
break
thing.
right now because we still have some topics to cover, as well as starting from today, we are starting a birthday corner. We have a couple people to recognize. Some peppers whose birthday it is today. But we're going to take a very quick break. Please stay with us because we have so much more to cover in this program, as well as we are opening the lines to take your call. The number is 769-4590. I'm seeing a lot of questions on the live. Unfortunately, I can't read and host the show at the same time. So please feel free to call in. You can do it anonymously. Ask your questions, and we are here to answer and um, give you that feedback that you're looking for that unfortunately I can't keep up with on the live. So 769-4590. That is the number. When we come back from the break, please feel free to call us. But stay with us. We'll be right back.
Antel is Trinidad's most reliable and technically experienced ICT company, providers of quality structured cabling, Cat6 data fiber, and power cables. We also stock cabling infrastructure basket-type cable trays for server rooms and data centers. Antel also installs and maintains video security systems including cameras, alarms, and electronic entrance locks for businesses and residential properties. Call Antel 674-1406 or 783-9250.
And we are back. Very, very quick break, like I said. And today we are introducing a new segment into the show called our Birthday Corner. And this is not just for PEP members. This is for anybody who would like to send a shout out to their loved one, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, their wife, their husband, their daughters, their sons, their aunts, their uncle, their granny, anybody. Send us a message and we will shout them out on the program and wish them happy birthday. But today, in our PEP family, we do want to say happy birthday to Debely Jaikaran, who is one of our very special members as she is part of our events team. Happy birthday, Debely. Also, Naima Mohammed, she's one of our peppers based in New York. Happy birthday, Naima. We have David Tado, who is from the PEP Tobago team. And we also have Kerry Grant, who is a very special and close and dear member of the Progressive Empowerment Party. Happy birthday, Kerry. So Kerry, Naima, Debly, and David, we wish you a very happy birthday today. And if there's any other peppers who I didn't have on my list and I forgot out, please feel free to send me a message and I will wish you happy belated birthday tomorrow. Like I said, send me a message before or during the program and I will send a birthday greeting. You can text me on 769-4590 and I will wish you your birthday. So, balloons and confetti and
Happy
that stuff. Happy birthday.
birthday! Woo! Quarantine birthday party.
I know. I actually had a dream this week that where I celebrated my birthday during quarantine, and my birthday is exactly a month and 4 days from now. And it was
Tony, you
such
don't
a
have to
sad
cry about that.
he cried. So you celebrate your birthday in quarantine? No, your birthday was back in February. Lucky you didn't have a quarantine birthday party. And I mean, like I said, the lines are open right now, but we still have a couple to and this one is not so happy. It actually got me very, very, very angry when I saw it. I didn't understand what I was seeing at first, but we had a very, how do you describe this? A very maddening incident over the Easter weekend with a gentleman who decided to hang a dog off of a piece of, I don't know what it was, but he tied a rope around the dog's neck and
That's
hung the
right.
dog until it died. And I didn't understand what I was looking at first. And when I realized that it was an actual live animal being hanged, I instantly closed it off because I didn't want to see anymore. And listen, I understand that Anthony was in your glass there. That better be more, yeah?
Yes.
I understand, I understand that COVID-19 has a lot of us bored. I understand that we have cabin fever and many of us don't know what to do with ourselves. But for God's sakes, please go out in your yard and plant something or take it to
Idle
the Lord
hands
in
do the
prayer
devil work.
or something.
They
But
should have flogged his ass.
what I witnessed in that video pointed to a level of evil that we always knew existed. Because you see, for a man to kill a human being, you have to have a real cool and wicked heart. But for a man to take advantage and kill an animal points to a different level of just evil, in my opinion. Because an
When
animal,
you watch all those serial killer documentaries, it all started like that, where they killed some animal and always in some way, and they're smiling about it like it's some damn joke. That's nothing to joke about. It's a defenseless animal. Why would you do that? Something is clearly wrong with him. They needed to give him some cat-o'-nine on the back, hard labor, and let him go and do community service, cleaning and feeding strays and homeless. Let him work in the zoo for a few years or some kind of thing.
exactly. And
Harsher
I
penalties for animal abuse.
I have to at this point commend the TTPS and the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, for his very swift action on that incident. And I mean,
There's
it's
another video with an idiot with a cat on a chain. Why would you put a chain, a very heavy chain, on a cat? It's like people just need, you know, the video circulating where the guy spit on the vegetables and the man from Spain hit him one slap and just reset the man factory settings. It's like some people here need some of that, because I don't understand how you could think that is normal behavior or it is right. You wouldn't do it to
but
a
Lemma,
child or a human, but you would do it to an animal.
but you see, Lemma, what you're pointing at there is exactly one of the problems that we have in this country that we don't address. So we have a lot of people, and this to me is not an excuse, but it is a fact and a reality. We have a lot of people, a lot of sick people, and when I say sick, sick in their minds, walking around with sociopathic and behaviors that are very reminiscent of people who have mental illnesses. And these people, because they are not being treated accurately, because they are just being, oh God, yeah, he mad, he crazy, a lot of the times their
Yeah,
behavior is a lot to go on because we have no real treatment for people like those. But that kind of behavior is what you call psychopathic and sociopathic behavior. And in essence, it should you should be either in a mental institution or be taking drugs for your illness. And like you say, these are people who go on to be serial killers, go on to kill. I'll never forget this child, boy, that Sean Luke child, that child who was bugging in a
yeah,
cane, left for dead. And when you look at the boy who was responsible for that, you could see that there was
the
something
boys.
wrong. Boys plural, but the one who recently who was let out of jail when it was 2018, 2019, you can see that there's something wrong with him. But in this country, we send you to jail, you come out and you're probably worse off than when you went in, and then we let you integrate back into society, only to hear 5 6 years later that you've now done it or killed somebody else. And you look at the fact that mental illness and people who have problems, and a lot of these mental illness, when you look into the lives of these people perpetuating these kind of crimes, who killing dogs and animals or torturing children, and it starts some small bullying them, and then eventually you move into a
Mm-hmm.
more insidious form of violence. When you look at their history, a lot of
What we
times
don't look
they
at too is parenting backgrounds and stuff too, because sometimes the adults will be like, yeah, well, it's only a dog. Oh gosh. Like, what is wrong with you? It's only a dog.
let's to talk about PEP's Animal Bill of Rights. And this is something, another document been sitting down, another one that's growing cobwebs in Parliament waiting to be passed, where there's a Bill of Rights that I'm not sure exactly what they call it, but the Progressive Empowerment Party
Money.
has the idea of bringing a Bill of Rights into Parliament that deals with the protection and the treatment of animals, because animals' life, and for those who have pets and love animals, would understand the statement. And as a person who has not ever officially owned a pet or animal, every animal that I've had was a stray that I have adopted but fell in love with. And all of my animal lovers and owners would understand the statement. And animal's life should be treated with just as much attention and care as you would pay to a human life. And I want to say even more so, because animals, unlike humans, cannot protect themselves. They are literally at the mercy of their owners, of see them on the street and take advantage of them. And Anthony, you have pets. You have a dog. What's his name? Papi Chulo. You, I know you have animals. What, in your opinion, that incident that happened with the man and the dog, do you think that having a bill of rights, something to protect animals and have stricter penalties on people who would perpetuate crimes and be cruel to animals, is something that is desperately needed right now in this country?
Yeah. It's definitely needed. Again, it's a matter of rights across the board, not just for people, but for animals. What we would consider pets, even what we would use to consume in itself. Having a code of conduct as to how we go about doing what we need to do in order to pacify the needs of the nation on a whole. Again, whether it be on a pet aspect or consumption aspect or what have you. I was really, really disturbed having to see that video. It just shows that, idle hands always finding something to do. But again, because we don't have laws in the country that's compounded, and the people have very a clarity upon as to the laws in itself, is why you find people, they simply do things that simply make no sense. The problem towards that, though, would be us having proper systems in place. I mean, again, hats off to Gary and his crew in getting to the guys soon enough, or fast enough after the whole incident had taken place. But really and truly, what can be a proper deterrent in order for people not to take such a stance, or in doing such things to animals, and having such cruelty towards animals? And for me, I would say information. Information is key. The laws in itself being stipulated and presented into the public clearly for people to understand exactly what the ramifications would
Oh
be in
gosh,
the
well,
event
take
that
the
they
bone
were to
from the dog now and move her.
do such. I mean, really and truly, it was very, very heart rendering. And like Lima said, with the cat and the big heavy chain, I mean, oh gosh, boy. Again, it's idle hands having nothing to do. And if we had clear information to the population as to what the laws entail, what people can and can't do, and what the ramifications towards those things are, I would think that people would reconsider doing such things. Because again, if you were to put the same Trinidadian man who did that to that dog and drop him in New York, in England, in Canada, I guarantee you this individual was not doing such a thing, simply because he would have understood the laws, which was very clear as to exactly how he need to conduct himself in a situation like that. Having his pet, no matter how bored you might be, to want to turn around to do something like that, I don't think it would have been non-existent
anywhere else. But here in Trinidad, again, anything goes. The laws aren't clear. People usually just simply do what the heck they want to do, and there's no ramifications towards it. The good thing is, again, with that happening, and Gary and the TTPS being able to capture these guys is a plus. Being able to put it into the public space, like, hey, this is the ramifications of what you are dealing with after doing such a thing. Yes, can be used as a point of example for the rest of the citizenry, but again, it should have never gotten to that. Simply because we just should have had the information for all citizens to be able to treat themselves properly, to treat the situation itself properly. It's all about information, is what allows us to make better decisions for ourselves. And if this individual had that proper information for himself, knowing that the laws in Trinidad and Tobago did stand its ground, and he would have some level of ramification to deal with after doing such a thing, it would have never been done to begin with. So, that's my 2 cents on that.
The actual penalty though is small. Pocket Square is supposed to be amending all of these laws and bringing it up to date. $400 is the fine for animal cruelty. That is nothing. I mean, granted, he doesn't look like he has $400 to pay for something like that, but it should have just been a little bit more stricter than that. Yeah.
I agree.
I agree. Hello, good morning. You're live. Talks any morning.
Hi, morning there. I call it from South Orlando area. I'm a frequent supporter of yours. And with regard to what was okay. And perhaps it's best to that's why the government is utilizing of money that we have more.
Caller, sorry, if you're there, but you're coming across a little soft. I don't know if you can speak up a little bit, please.
I'm broken.
Yeah, I'm hearing you a lot better.
Yes. I was particularly interested in what you were saying there in terms of the money and so on that the government has available to them to provide for the people. Because I was listening to your show recently with Pat and Ronan Dilemma, and one thing that stood out with me is that Dr. Watts was saying that the government has a right to provide for these people. And Ronan Dilemma was talking about this recently. This whole concept of giving people money, you're giving people all kinds of things that is not relevant to them. So to start with is to have a point where you can begin the whole process, because the COVID is not finished yet. Yet we have these things that we have to respond immediately. And the whole idea of this the money issue, because the government, because your Minister of Finance talked about the consolidation of the revenue and so on. This package is totally unacceptable. This stimulus package for the people is cumbersome and inadequate to supply the needs of the people of the country. If you look at what happened with the United States, people are being actually receiving money into their accounts. So you have the 900,000 people, 100,000 people on the list of voters without the name, address, phone number, and everything. So the MP should be telling you what you guys are giving information as who really needs this stuff. Yeah? So those people have ID cards and social security and NIS numbers and so on. So you can go on, we intend to read it there.
Exactly. Yeah? Yes.
So I was looking at the actual figures. So the Social Development Ministry has a budget of $5 billion. Now they can afford to do the pension front, because most of the time the parents and the people who are helping mining the children, at the home they doing. So if you give them, today is what April, you give them May and June pension in April. It's April account. That's $6,000 plus the $9,000. So technically what you have done is to provide them with a loan which is theirs. So they have no payment. You give the money up front. Yes?
Yes.
And you have a lot of ideas. You see, the government under this way, you talk about Saransh Barat. Saransh Barat is a very bright man.
I know.
I know it very well too. We have a thing called collective responsibility, where the parliament, the people have to ask the people to remove the whip and let people vote according to their conscience. Because they're forcing people who might have been about to vote, but because everybody under the collective responsibility format of the parliament, you have to vote. It happened with COP and the UNC, and that's what caused Marvin Beecher and them to get kicked out of the whole system. So voting, they should allow you to vote with a conscience. Because in the parliament, there's no conscience. If the prime minister say, this is right, everybody should have to say yes. Guys with want to with there. But I don't want to digress much from the parliamentary arm of it. But this whole idea of this money, the money of this country belongs to the people of it. As the United States, they actually putting money into people's account. Why did you have to one full form? You don't need that. And the opposition and I see all of the opposition now as the most sexy means is just simply having a platform for people to and these kind of ideas to come forward. So the Social Development Ministry has $5 billion. The borrowings, according to Minister of Finance, check $4 million US. Yes, so that's $50 billion, roughly about $50 billion. You take $1.1 billion from the Heritage and Civilization Fund, that's $58 billion. So with this total here, you have $43 billion. Then you have the IMF that is providing $50 billion in help to the countries who are damaged by COVID. Why they don't do that? Maybe it's that's what we do right here. The IMF are saying us we need to get money here to help us. So you have practically you have most of it at the disposal right now. I am saying my proposal to bring the payments up forward because they had to keep them waiting for this anyhow. And that way you have more money coming along with people and they can help each other. The money is here, something and you have to actually help you. Even the pensioners, these 5 million, 6,000 pensioners, why not bring their pension up? If those things are embedded in the budget, they have to respond. And I know your platform is one of the only platforms, in fact, the only platform that have any discussions or positions where you have an innovative approach to deal with the problem. Many of them don't have an innovative idea in their brain. They don't. And on top of that, what I see, whether it's and I believe the mantra I've written several times in the courses, their mantra is who suffer, and who dead. Once they and their friends and their suffer. And some of the supporters, yes. The other 900, 600 or 700,000 who will suffer, they survive how they could. And the whole idea of poverty eradication, so I doing my 16 hours finishing it up. It's about we have 20%, close to 20% of these people who are poor. Another 20% who are working poor, who they don't pay their bills on time, they receive their house, the car, everything. And I would say I spent on something to look on there and discussion there regarding the whole concept of the new order of things. And we must, if I heard Philip on several occasions talk about this, that is government they must have some thought of these people because they're shielded by the Constitution and they need to be able to move forward away from that whole process. Yeah? The Constitution is what is shielding the government because we have no option. You can talk how much ideas, how much solutions, the whole of this talk every single day. And the government is we always do. What option we have? There must be an option for us to see here now. We need to help you guys.
Well, the option, caller, is the option for us right now, and it's the only option, of course, that we have, is to, one, open the eyes of the population to see exactly what you are seeing there, and option 2, to vote them out. And I mean, that is the whole point of programs like these, of the Plain Talk programs, of Phillips Nightly videos. The whole point of putting all that information out into the public information. And I'm very happy to hear you come back and be able to say in your own words, which means that the people are getting it, they're waking up, they're finally understanding the true strength strength, which lies one own knowledge and their own understanding of what is really happening, and two, in their vote. And that is the only way, other than by force and for that at all. That's the only way for the people to really be able to get the kind of government not only that they want but that they deserve. And I want to thank you for your question this morning. To say before we go back to the program?
Well, the other thing, one other thing you talk about the whole idea about, if you're saying there's nothing, I'm doing running out as well. So there's nothing to do, but what we do? If we can't do nothing, we can't do nothing. Wait until 5 years and then take what we get. Because in any fashion, they have to put in just doing things. Are they doing certain things, or they just guys of governance? You see, incompetence and so on is fine, but we can't stop them. Like, that's why Larry Lala and Akash Amara stopped the minister and saying, you have to get him people home, because loyalists and we're going to court. So they should we have to introduce some other element of the local concept and utilize the international body, the International Court of Justice, the IMF, to write them. We need to write to them. What long will we can't write to them? And tell them that we're not satisfied, we under pressure. I heard before talking about people suffering in this community there. I have lots of people will be suffering just now, even more. So if that is the case, then we have to get up and do what is required. We don't need to have cake sale and barbecue and things like that, people like that. Government have a right, and we must hold the government accountable for what they are responsible for. Somewhere or the other, not with 5 years. Because there's no option in the Constitution for that. And the $45 billion that they have right now, why don't they take it and just share it among the wealth? Share the wealth. I wrote to the article that the wealth of this country does not belong to the PNM, and it doesn't belong to one group. It belongs to every family, not only the individual. So it is a solution. But who will take all that? Well,
we know it's not this administration, and I mean the fact that you're saying exactly what we say as Progressive Empowerment Party, like I say, does attest to the fact that people are waking up to their real power. I'm gonna have to end the call now, open to everybody else as well as continue the program. But thank you very much for your contribution this morning, and please fall back in the segment between today and Friday. Thank you very much. I mean, you heard him live and direct. He's basically asking the same questions that we are asking in terms of pension, in terms of getting answers to the people. Why isn't the government giving an advance on pension so we could avoid this whole lineup scenario? I mean, we're all, again, going to near the end of the month, and we're going to have senior citizens again putting themselves to line up for their pensions. Why not give them a lump sum up front? I mean, you're now in charge of managing your money. At this time, we are lessening the risk that we are imposing on people of getting exposed to the COVID-19 disease, particularly the at-risk seniors that we have in our society, as well as some of the things that he brought up. Why aren't we using the IMF? And I will never forget that video, that 6-minute video, economist Mala Dukaran, who explained all the number of ways we could have access to money to help in this COVID-19 pandemic, to assist citizens before we went into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. And I mean, I am one of those people who heavily advocated for us trying to find other means of supporting ourselves before we went our way. But I mean, again, we have
when
people.
You have an engineer instead of a financial expert in charge of our finances. You have somebody with some sort of failure in engineering running our affairs. That can be right.
Well, I would say this,
That,
even though we have an engineer, and even though for the Minister of Finance we have a pharmacist who is the Minister of Health, and all
health.
these square pegs that is not fitting into the round holes that they are originally designed for. I still see no reason why these individuals are not able to have a think tank of sorts with qualified people to give them the level of guidance which is needed for them to move the country forward within their own portfolios, respectively. Now, again, our finance minister, yes, okay, fine. Where's the body of people that is giving him the guidance that he needs, giving him the recommendations and how we are to move the country forward? The first thing we want to run to is the Heritage and Stabilization Fund with a
But who is to
meager
say he's not
six.
getting the advice, Tony? Who is to say he's
Nah,
not? And
man,
he's just saying, no, I'm not listening to these
no,
people. I want the money for my 1% people. Everybody
I
knows he's the real prime minister. I want to do what I want to
Guys,
do.
we're gonna take
I
a
want
call.
us.
I'm gonna take a call from overseas now.
Okay.
Hello, good morning. You're live on Pep Talks in the morning.
Good morning. How are you guys doing, Trini?
We are fair to
morning, morning.
find. Could be better.
Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, well, I'm calling from Miami here. I'm a Trini living in Miami. Okay.
Oh, hi, Trini, living in Miami.
Okay, I want to say two things here. You know, you were talking about the farmers, right?
Yes.
You talk about the okay. You know, the late President Ronald Reagan was once asked which profession is the most important. You understand? You know, with education, he said our farmers.
Hello?
Yeah, you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Yeah. I said the late President Ronald Reagan right, was once asked which profession is important. Without hesitation, he said our farmers.
Which is
Hello?
true.
Yeah. So he said our farmers, which is the most important profession, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, okay, that was one. The other one, you're talking about animal cruelty. There's a Trinidadian guy here in New York. You know, one time he was bored and he had nothing to do. So he lit a cat on fire, right? And he was found guilty in a court in New York. He spent 6 years in prison and was then ordered, deported back to Trinidad. You know? These are just the two little things I just wanted to stress on to you guys down there.
Thank you very much for that, caller.
Okay, you're welcome.
Have a good day. I mean, he said it. We've been saying it. Farmers are the important people in our society. Farmers, teachers, service providers, as in our law enforcement. They should be some of the most highly paid people in our society. And I saw somebody say, look at how upside down, and our nurses as well, our nurses and doctors, they should be some of the most highly paid people. So look at all of these people, and yeah, athletes and celebrities and movie stars who get paid any millions and billions of dollars. What use are they of now? Now that we're in a crisis, what are they going to do? Entertain us through kicking a ball? Like, honestly, we have been so upside down as a world. We treat the people who matter the most and provide the most with scant courtesy. We pay them the least. We give them dirt poor pay. We don't tend to their needs. Yet those who provide entertainment and all of that, they are some of the best treated people. Look at politicians. Politicians make more money than our nurses, the frontline staff who we need right now in this pandemic. They make more money than our nurses would ever make. And I saw a status saying, how does it feel that you don't have a job and you're not working right now, but your entire parliament still have a job and drawing a salary? And that's the reality. And
And they
to
have
think
not
about.
taken any pay cut or any kind of thing to kind of
Exactly.
say, well, let me
It's worth to
steam a
think
little
about because
thing.
they're doing absolute rubbish in office right now. So it's like you're paying them for doing a job that they're not even executing
They should
properly.
cut
And then
pension when we get there. I find we should do that. They shouldn't get a pension
Dayal Singh,
well,
because
failure. Our Minister of Health, failure. Complete failure. Complete failure. And we have seen it throughout the last few months. He's saying one thing today, tomorrow he coming and saying something else and putting the population at risk every step of the way. Total failure. The administration at hand right now, as the PNM, do not know what they are doing, moving forward, moving the country forward in this crisis in itself. And to make matters worse, the opposition, which is supposed to keep the bloody government of the day wheels on the bloody track and seek the interests of the people directly, they are another lost cause. And my question is this is
where
the
are they?
leadership that we have in our nation, and why is the population of Trinidad and Tobago still insistent on wanting to run down red or yellow? Why? I'm not even saying for
Yeah,
anybody to run down orange, I'm not even saying that. I am saying for people to have a level of critical thinking, to look at common sense in their minds from what makes sense from nonsense. And at the end of the day, I am not tooting the horn of the Progressive Empowerment Party, but it is the body of the Progressive Empowerment Party that is educating the population, giving them systematic ways in which the way we should be moving forward. And we've been doing this
yeah.
since January. We have been making the call for Carnival to be postponed to a later date since January. The Progressive Empowerment Party was the only body that was saying that, and other people looking at us saying that we mad. What is wrong with us? But look at the position that we're
Yeah.
in today. And had we been proactive enough in actually postponing Carnival, we may not have even had a case in Trinidad and Tobago, because you could say what you want to know. Our infected cases in Trinidad and Tobago stem straight from Carnival. They talk about the cruise coming in, all well and good, but the point is, if we had protocol in place, there would not have been a cruise coming in and people walking off the shore and just going about their business honky go dory. It wasn't working that way. The point is that we did not have proper protocols in place. The government had no true idea as to how to operate in this environment in itself, and what proactively they had to secure as a nation, because the key thing for us to secure is, one, our food is what we are feeding our nation with, our health care, having to deal with any type of outbreak or any type of issue health-wise to the population in itself, being prepared in that aspect, looking towards a new model and development towards our economics in Trinidad and Tobago, having to operate under the environment that we are presently in. There's
But you
several,
know what else
listen,
is worrying though? If this was something worse than COVID, let's say it was Ebola, we would have all been dead.
very well
There's
said, yes.
no, where's our disaster preparedness unit? This is a disaster. This is their time. This is crisis and emergency management. You haven't even heard a peep out of the director. Where this is perfect example now to put things in place to plan for some sort of pandemic in the event it happens again. What should we do as a country? How you curb it, how you prevent it, especially if you see it coming
That's
from
right.
months before. Now is the time to be documenting and putting these things in place. This particular situation is the perfect case study for crisis and emergency management students to understand how reckless our government was in handling this whole situation. And the ideal way to handle any kind of situation like this is to be proactive regardless of what.
That's right. That's right. Catering for every situation and every scenario, whether it be
Yeah,
good,
you
medium,
have
or
to think,
bad.
what if? Yeah, they're not doing that. And another issue that I keep having, our ministers, they don't understand anything we're going through because they don't face it. You think Terrence Yalsing's wife or any of them just go for this in General Hospital and sit down and scrub bench to know what it is to the system when you have to make a child or to see a doctor, to join a clinic or any kind of thing? No, they
Yeah,
probably go
but
Sinclair
is the
Medical
Prime
or
Minister
West
going to
Shore.
LA?
Isn't the Prime Minister
Exactly.
going
So
to
they
LA
wouldn't.
for some checkup again? Why he couldn't
Yeah.
do that here? We don't. What our healthcare system is so incompetent and so lackadaisical
No,
that
and
our
Terence said
commander and
our
chief of
health
Trinidad and
is
Tobago
world
is
class.
not able to have a doctor right here to seek and sort his own needs and issues out. At least to have a report or to know whether the man is okay or just for a bloody checkup. Come on, man, that says all. It says all that our
Yes.
own leaders do not have a
And
vote of
then
confidence in our own system. That they have a 10-year
and then
ensuring makes sense to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Because it ain't making sense to them.
and
It's
then
why
you
they could
have
jump on plane and
Terence
fly out.
telling, but then you have Terence telling these citizens that we have a world class health center, health facility in this country, but yet you have all your ministers
Lies.
flying out for treatment. Exactly.
Exactly.
That's an oxymoron.
That's right.
I could tell people I've been to Port of Spain General Hospital a million times. I've had to scrub benches there. I practically know the staff there. I've been to Montauk. I've been to San Fernando General Hospital. I have to go Oxford Street Health Center. Come on. Ask your ministers when was the last time any of them went and do that.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, I was there, and again, I deal with it firsthand where my old man is concerned after getting a stroke. I am appalled. I am sickening. I cannot believe we are spending billions of dollars a year for that
And you
kind
see
of
why
service.
they send Maxi Coffee outside, right? Which, by the way,
But
where
that
is
says
he?
all. That says all right there. It says all right
He's
there. The
there.
place is broken and they're just putting plasters and putting on a show for the population to make you feel like how the Alsing say, oh, we have the best world-class healthcare in Trinidad and Tobago. Really? So
Yeah,
why does the Prime Minister jump in the country to go outside to get his healthcare? Why is that if we're supposed to
yeah.
have world-class healthcare right here? What's the
Why
reason? Give me
Maxi Coffee had
justification
to go
against that now.
abroad? And we spend how much million on him abroad.
Oh, who paying for that? Who paying for that trip? It's not the taxpayers' money that paying for that trip
Yeah,
for the Prime Minister going outside, or for coffee going outside, or for any of the ministers going outside. Who is just fitting the bill of that? It's not the people. And when the people sick and when people cannot get help, and we go to the state to try to get some kind of money to get some specialized doctor or specialized treatment, we can't get it. We had to deal with salt, suck salt. We can't do nothing.
gotta have
We go wait until
barbecue.
next year or year after, and by that time we might be dead. But the point is, that is the whole name of the game. Trinidad, we had to wake
Yeah,
up, We have got to wake up because this is not going to end well. And if we do not take action now and put certain things in place, Crapo smoking we pipe, Right now, Crapo smoking we pipe. Big puff, puff, puff.
yeah, yeah. And we enjoying it too.
Yeah.
I'll let you all go on there because I realize that you all had a lot to say. But everything that you have said was on the button. The failure, and they say a crisis exposes a society for the inadequacies, for the failures. It lays it bare, and I've been talking this for the past 3 weeks. And if anything, this COVID-19 experience has really exposed all the holes in our system. And I mean, we didn't touch on two topics today, but I do want to very quickly introduce them. This issue that we have with our nationals stuck in Barbados who are being told to find their way home, that the government is not paying the bill. I mean, had they not tried to make it in before the borders closed, had they not been trying on their own to get in, I could probably understand. But we have countries like Canada spending upwards of 100 million Canadian dollars to repatriate their citizens. We own a national airline, Caribbean Airlines, yet we are telling our own people, hard luck, peace out for you, we'll deal with you another time. I mean, even
Madness.
something as making loans available. Canada is doing that, allowing their citizens abroad to access funds. They have 24/7 access to the consulate and embassies, the embassy in Canada. And I'm thinking that these nationals, some of them, their only recourse, their only way to get onto us here in Trinidad and Tobago is to call in on Phillips Live. And I mean, what does that say for the government of the day when they can abandon their own citizens, when they can't even provide a level of assurity that we can see about you or ensure that you have an advance on money to deal with your food needs, your living situation. I mean, they're living in a hotel. Who is footing that bill? And it really does point to how not only incompetent but also inhumane this government is at. And to equate the situation to what is happening around the world is a lie, and it is incorrect, because around the world governments are taking care of their citizens. The United States, they
Yep.
have a direct access to all of their citizens based wherever you are in the world. When last has Stuart Young called or made, or through our Minister of Foreign Affairs, made any contact with all of our citizens based in Margarita, based in Barbados, based in Suriname? When has he done that? And I mean, the little that you can do counts right now in a time of uncertainty, in a time of fear. Right now, we mentioned this earlier, the Spanish nationals who are here right now who are out of work. We had a COVID-19 pajama party happening last week with some Venezuelan nationals where they were arrested in Alicia's guest house. And I mean, we know that we're going through a period of quarantine and isolation, so this should not be happening. But what do you tell people who have no access to government grants, have no work to go to, have no savings that we know of? You left a terrible situation in Venezuela to come to an even more terrible situation in Trinidad and Tobago, where you are not a national of the country. Of course, quarantine parties is nonsense, but how again do you sustain yourself? We don't want it to happen, but people have. And the same way
And
uh,
again, our TTPS was so hurried to act, they didn't even not get any of the businessmen who were supposed to go to this party. That's foolishness. Who were the people going to enter to have these people entertain them?
I don't know, but points out again a level of boredom, and clearly people are running out of things to do in COVID. We have just about 3 minutes left, so I would give you guys some time to wrap up, give your closing comments. We did touch on a lot today, from the price gouging by consumers, the fruits being thrown away. I mean, a lot of it points to a lot of inefficiencies in our systems. I have to big up the TTPS, who, as much as they didn't catch the businessman in Alicia's place, they were able to capture the guys who have butchered that animal to death. So, I mean, kudos to you, TTPS. I see you, Gary. I see you and your officers working really hard to really keep us safe during this period. And I know it can't be easy when you're working under a Minister of National Security who may not seem to
Does
have
not
all
have
the
a clue.
Yeah, thank
All
you for
his
saying it.
marbles not rolling in the same direction.
Exactly what Lima said. It must be hard to work under a government that is not geared towards full efficiency, whereas you in the TTPS, and I have to commend Gary for this, you are trying your best. So, Lima, Anthony, any closing comments before we wrap up?
I just want to say this is our eye opener, Trinidad and Tobago, and we need to use it to our full advantage to see all who and what is there for us to see. The government is not doing what they ought to. We have nationals stranded that we have abandoned, and that is the only way to say they have abandoned these people. If you cannot treat your citizens humanely and do as much as possible to have them safely transported somewhere or taken care of, what they're going to do for us who actually here then? Look how we treating our animals. All our ministers just there floating around getting their 41,000 a month salary, whatever the case is, and it have people starving here. This is things to open your eyes. We need to stand together as one, and we need to stand up as Trinidadians and Tobagonians. Not either Indian and either African or whatever. But we need to stand as one. It is one people under one flag. And we need to understand that this government is not doing all that they should for all of us.
Well said, Lima.
Well said.
And
Well, I would compound what Lima just said, as well as is as it stands right now, the Progressive Empowerment Party is not in office. We are not in government. So directly, the most that we can do is truly be a real pressure group
on the state, on the government, identifying the issues that the citizens are dealing with and putting it into the public space, letting government know and the powers that be understand and see for themselves as to exactly what the population is dealing with and push and pressure the issue for some resolve where the citizenry is concerned. Like I said, I'm distraught right now simply because I know many families right now as we speak that is in dire straits, not even knowing how they're going to feed their family, their children today as we speak, as in breakfast, lunch, and dinner, far less for tomorrow, far less for the next week. And they have no type of recourse in sight. Everything is just too much red tape. It's just too much complications in getting the help to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, whether they are on the shores here or offshore, whether it be in Margarita, Barbados, America, wherever. The point is that the government constantly shows the level of mismanagement and them not knowing exactly what to do within protocol in the present environment that we need to operate and live under, where this virus is concerned, where having to shut down and freeze the country and economy in itself is concerned. There's not enough systematic information out there, not just for government, but for the citizenry in itself, in which how they are to operate under and conduct themselves. The problem is, again, we do not have proper leadership. And as it stands right now, the Progressive Empowerment Party will do what it needs to do in its best of its capacity and capability. But as it stands right now, we will be a definite pressure group where the state is concerned towards both government of the day as well as opposition, because I'm finding opposition staying very quiet in the whole mix of things and is not putting that voice out there for the people. It's really heart-wrenching to see what it is we are dealing with as a citizenry here in Trinidad. 1.4 million people is nobody to really manage. The resources we have on the ground here in Trinidad, regardless as to whether we were mismanaged before, we are talking presently, we are able to actually have a lot more sanity, more sense out of the nonsense that we are dealing with. But the issue is that we do not have proper leaders with proper vision and proper know-how as to how to move our country forward in this time of crisis right now. We are more than happy to give as much information as possible to the government of the day as the Progressive Empowerment Party and its policies and procedures is concerned. We are not about politics right now, but at the end of the day, it is politics that have us here in this position and situation, and we cannot deny that fact. But at the end of the day, we are still willing to give the information which is necessary for the government to stop making the missteps that they are making, because people are truly suffering on the ground, real time, real people, real families, and they have no one directly to turn to have any recourse or to have anything pacified on their end where their family and their siblings or whoever is concerned. So, with that said, again, Trinidad and Tobago, keep strong, listen to what is happening outside there, and hold the government to task. Do not keep quiet, and we will do what we can on our own end here, within our own capacity as the Progressive Empowerment Party, in trying to help the citizenry as best as we can. That is what I would say at this point in time. Again, look out for us tomorrow. In fact, for the rest of the week. And there's lots more information coming at you, and a lot more initiatives that would most likely be rolling out as the days go by, where this whole crisis is concerned.
Thank you for that, Anthony and Lemon. We're a little bit past the 10 o'clock button, but I don't know for how many of you who would have noticed, but the Progressive Empowerment Party has started a mask initiative. Let me see, you could see that there. Bring it back a little bit. Can't see because the light is shining on it a little bit, but this is the PEP logo on it. These masks are retailing for $25 a piece and wholesale $22 a piece. If you're buying more, well, over 100 pieces, you can get them. You can see it in Lima's screen there. You could probably put it on so they can see what it looks like. Thank you for that, Lima. We are retailing our own PEP mask. If you are a supporter of the Progressive Empowerment Party, please support us by purchasing one of these masks. The number to call for one of those masks, hold on, sorry, let me pull that up for you. The number to call is 357-0302 if you would like to order any quantity below 100. So that's 357-0302. And if you would like to purchase wholesale, and that would get you the mask at $22 a piece, not $25, but $22, you can call 769-4590. Thank you very much for staying with us today. We had a very wonderful show. Thank you to my two co-hosts, Anthony Defour and Limma McLeod Wilkinson, the two deputy political leaders of the Progressive Empowerment Party. Trinidad and Tobago, like Anthony said, we will be back tomorrow from 8 a.m., bringing you more hot topics, more current events, and of course with a pep spin to it, as we discuss always, how we can move towards a better Trinidad and Tobago. Again, during this period of COVID-19, let's always remember to let's stay together by staying. Bye-bye.